today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Game Bytes Show podcast. It is April the 4th, 2022. It's 10 o'clock at night, almost. We're past 10 o'clock. Except for Dale.
Más o menos.
Yeah, we're somewhere between 9 and midnight-ish.
Because we just stay up late like that. We're partying all night long, starting
right.
at about 9 p.m.
That's right. This is the Game Bytes Show. My name is LeGrand Jolly. This evening, as always, Jeremy Lamont. Hello, Jeremy.
April the 4th be with you.
Dale Jones.
Went down to the crossroads to make a deal with the Star Wars Devil.
Cool.
Star Wars Devil.
And Jared Dunn. Hello, Jared.
This is where I'd insert my Camelot joke and start dancing like Monty Python. But
that's a great joke.
Camelot.
We don't go there. It's a silly place.
It is a silly place.
What do jockeys often ride in the Middle East?
What?
Camelots.
Camelots?
Camels a lot? Camels
Where do they?
You know what? We're going to workshop this one. We'll bring it back next week.
Where do people park their camels in the Middle East?
Oh, wait, hold on.
In Camelots.
I just realized that it's like a racist thing that people say, camel jockey.
Knights?
That was
we've got a controversy now.
Yeah,
Thanks, Dale.
That was not the intent.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, there's not camels. I guess
Do
there's
they park them in
like
parking Camelots? Parking Camelots, Jared? Is that where they do it?
Parking Camelot?
You just, as long as it's not in the camel bus lane or fire zone.
You know where there
Or the
are
bike lane.
camels.
Bike lane.
Yeah.
There's no camels in Ultima Online Outlands.
You have
there is
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
He does not.
We had
He does
a
nothing.
massive battle for Horseshoe Bay, the ultimate conclusion to the Horseshoe Bay chapter, and it burned. We lost. The bad guys won.
Ooh.
This is
Now
the
what?
darkest timeline. I'm actually.
Did you have to move out of Horseshoe Bay?
No, it's still there.
Dumb.
No.
Is somebody going to retcon that and say that the good guys won?
You know what?
The stakes
There
were not real,
is
apparently.
A plan, I guess, to redesign the town with the dev team, but they didn't line up with our timelines.
World War Without Consequences is a major facet of anime and Ultima Outlands.
Yeah.
So it was actually a really cool battle. There was they created these NPCs that certain guilds had to be around for a certain time, and then they'd become attackable. So it was pretty neat to have that kind of support, and it was like a good 45-minute long battle. Total chaos in the town, fighting around all these people just standing about. It was a good time.
Making a stance like this, and then sometimes animating a little bit.
Yeah. There's like 4 attack animations, so we did.
That's
all
generous.
All 4 of them. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on which direction you're facing. There's only 4 directions you can face too.
So what's really neat about Ultima is it only has like half of the animations because it just mirrors it. So if you're facing left,
Right.
it's the same as if you're facing right.
So your watch is on your right or your left hand, depending on which way you're facing?
Yeah, you'll like switch your sword and shield depending which direction you face.
Isn't it like with Ultima, you can never actually face left? You can only face like left and down or like up and right?
No, this one has 8 directions.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's
Technology.
like a chessboard.
Not bad. Not bad.
It's pretty awesome.
Well, let's talk about games that matter.
There is actually a video on our YouTube channel. You should go check
I saw that. We got notified by our YouTube bot on Discord.
Which is great.
And you know what I don't like about that bot? It at everyone's. I really hate that.
I think that's good. You know what? Here's the thing. You know what I'm over? And you know what, Dale? I'm directing this at you. Like, if you're going to be on Discord, like, just get some notifications, right? Like, just get some notifications. Otherwise, you can like sign into server, you just like never look at it. Like, what's the point? Like, just get some notifications. Who cares?
What? Where did this come from?
Well, Dale was complaining about all the like the mentions, and then you're like, oh, the only thing I don't like is it at everyone's. I at everyone every time we produce a podcast because you know what? That's what we're about.
Annoying.
We're about good. That's it's.
I hate it when I hate it on
Also
Slack at
published
work
at
too.
midnight.
When people do it, it's like my biggest pet peeve is when people on Slack or in like a random channel with like 100 people and they at everyone to talk to like 2 people, right? Like,
Yeah, like use it responsibly. Like I agree with that. Like don't
everyone. There's free donuts in the break room.
yeah,
But-
that's valid if it's in the correct channel, I guess. I mean, I probably have that channel muted anyways.
Yeah, which is
Every
whatever.
now and then at work, someone will accidentally like CC the entire program. It's like
Yeah,
700
that's no
people.
bueno. That's
you're
no
like,
bueno.
It's the best when everyone gets CC'd for like a company wide announcement and then somebody replies all.
Yes, that's good.
Me too.
They just want to talk
I
to the person
agree.
who sent the message and they reply all.
Thanks for
Yeah.
telling me, Jana.
Those are
Okay,
always
hold on.
people that
Jana's
have-
got to be a real name. That's who's Jana. You got to tell. You
Those
gotta
are
This
always
tell.
the
chair's
people that
HR
have,
director.
I
They have like a
don't know.
wallpaper on their email, and like their signature is in like a funny font. You know,
And it's got some like biblical quote
You know,
or something.
no, I put a minion. Like I put a minion clip art in my signature just so people
Oh
know
shit!
that.
I need to do that. You know, I need to do that for real. That'd be so awesome. Except for that, I don't know. The work provides us with the signature template we have to use. So
Oh, really?
you know,
We do.
Well,
yeah.
you know, you could probably like the background HTML.
I guess
or
they
something,
say
you
that
could have-
after like a certain point, you can do whatever you want. So if as long as you have the template underneath that, you can put a minion if you wanted
Oh,
to.
man.
I might do that.
I mean, if you could
That
sneak it
reminds
in
me
there.
of,
You
way
should
back
just
in the day.
every week add a new signature, like,
Yeah.
but not replace any of them. Just
I
keep
This-
moving them down. So
This is
it's like-
subversiveness in your late 30s, early 40s, everybody. Like, this is how you stick it to the man. You put a minion in your signature, you're going to
No,
like slide it in there.
Jeremy, back when I first got on the internet, like in the days of what do you call it? Newsboard, USB. What do they call those
Yeah,
things? The
BBC news boards.
Usenet.
Usenet.
That's what they
Usenet.
call it. Okay. The news
Yeah.
groups.
News group. There you go.
You had to log on to it using your like Outlook client or whatever. But the thing there was one in there that was called alt.games.final fantasy, and it became like
That's pretty good.
a meme before anybody knew what a meme was, right? It was like it was the culture of this one news group that everybody's signature was like obscenely long, like, you know, multiple pages of scrolling, and it would just have like random stuff in it. People would do like ASCII art or like, you know, their favorite quotes that somebody else had said on the BBC on the board, like, you know, before that, or
That's like the protogenesis of the Chan message boards or something. I mean, it's like some real malcontents.
The
of the
whole
internet.
thing was like the whole culture of that whole board was like, how long can your signature be, and what all kind of crap can you put in it? And you could tell when somebody was like new to the group, because they would come on, they'd be like, "Why is everybody's signature so long?" You know? It was like,
that is kind of funny though.
I wonder if
bad.
any of our listeners
Hayes,
out
the new
there
guy.
have had any experience with
Miss
that.
forum signatures. You know, like the
Yeah.
images. It'd be like your character.
I used to make those for
WoW.
people, and like I was in a Battlefield.
Oh my god! Those
You
are
know
so
what?
Battlefield something. No, Call of
It'd have,
Duty
It'd have like
Modern
your
Warfare.
stats in there.
Listen,
Guild or whatever.
I am
awesome.
I am not about those vanity signatures. In fact, my user icon, my profile icon for the Sony PlayStation Network is one of the very first like unamused smiley face, like the green one with the straight line for the mouth, and I've never changed it. PS3, PS4, PS5, and I'm
Jeremy's
not
the-
changing it anytime
The
soon.
guy that his like Twitter profile is still the bird.
You know, that was one thing that I really appreciated.
Before the
about
bird, it was an
NeoGAF
egg. I'm
back in
pretty
the day.
sure.
That's true.
Like back in the day when NeoGAF was like the hot thing, I loved it because they disallowed signatures. There were no signatures on that whole board.
That's probably wise. Like that's
Oh,
how
it
I'd run a
was-
forum.
yeah.
I'd be
it
like,
was
all
good.
right,
You
was
would
the way
just
to do it.
disallow the fun.
I just disallow the people, and
It's
it'd be
not
Yeah,
like,
you're
you know
like one of those. You're like one of those Counter-Strike servers that doesn't allow sprays. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't allow
buzzkill
sprays.
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every time you try and spray, you lose 1 HP. That's my server.
No, it just wasted a bullet. That's yeah.
your chamber gets one less before you have to
Mhm.
Your
permanently.
spray is actually a grenade.
Yeah, I like that.
I bet you could totally mod that in and piss a lot of people off.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, fellers. Welcome everybody to the show. Thanks for joining us on the YouTube and on the podcast feed.
that's right. We get
all
your
there.
you get your podcast both ways, the two ways that you can get it.
You get
It's
to
true.
eat your podcast
and have it too.
Eat it too.
Through your
cool,
ears.
man. Yeah, exactly. Jared, you got it, man. Thanks. Well, I've got some Elden Ring updates, and this may be my final update until we record our round that podcast that I did with James.
Yes.
Round table hold round table. Yes. When we do our final version.
I thought it was easy.
Writing a SQL query here. Is that what's going on? Union.
That kind of hurt.
Yeah. I rolled credits on Elden Ring today, guys. I played it a lot today, and I finished it.
How Elden is your ring?
Dude, it's so Elden. I think that this game, you could probably beat this game in a lot less time than I did. It took me 85 hours. I was level 160. I did almost
18 minutes.
Yeah, I watched that today too, by the way, which is bonkers. It's just a bunch of glitches. Whatever, those aren't as impressive to me as they're cool.
Is it tool assisted or is it just a bunch of glitches?
Just a bunch of glitches. There's a glitch that I don't know how he did it, but he had to turn his resolution like really low and then get to a certain point and like guard stance with his gun or with his katana, and then it would like teleport him to like another place. It was weird. Anyway, he did it. Yeah, sub 20 minutes is the world record right now.
20 minutes is like half the time the Battle for Horseshoe Bay took.
Wow. Anyway, so as my final Game Bytes Show podcast proper update to Elden Ring, game's awesome, man. Like I was feeling a little bit of fatigue near the end. Like I was skipping enemies just because I knew I was leveled enough to finish the game. So I was kind of just mainlining my way to the bosses and just beating it. But I was doing everything that I could still. I was exploring everything and I was looking for all the items. I think I missed one big major boss, a big dragon boss near the end of the game that I just didn't come across in the last area of the game. Yeah, that game, it's something else. It kept me entertained and I just didn't want to, I kept playing it and just didn't want to stop until it was over. Like I knew I had to finish it. And it's been a while since I finished a big single player game like that. And the end was very satisfying. The bosses, there was probably a string of maybe 5 bosses in a row that were just back to back and just amazing and super awesome. I didn't really have a whole lot of trouble. There was one boss that I guess people are saying is one of the hardest bosses that From Software has ever done. Called Millennia, and she is up in the Halig Tree area. Anyway, she is an optional boss that you actually don't. She's the boss that was like the deluxe edition. There's like a character that was on it, had like red hair. She was in some of the earlier trailers. Anyway, that boss took me probably 2 or 3 hours to beat. She was just incredibly difficult. Just the problem there is that her weapon also healed her. And she had this big old katana. So when you would like do damage, and so if you get like 2 hits in, 1 hit from her, and she would heal that damage back. So you had to be
simply don't get hit.
Don't get hit. It was basically the boss where it was like, yo, you need to be like perfect or really, really good. And I ended up having to respec. I ended up picking up my hook claws again, and that's how I ended up beating that boss. But it took me probably 2 or 3 hours, which was probably the hardest boss that I played in the game. Other bosses, I don't remember any of them giving me, and I never felt like I wanted to rage quit with that boss. It almost felt like, I just need to be better, or I just need to be patient, or I just need to do this enough so that I just know the patterns, and that's basically what happened by the end of that boss when I finally beat her. Anyways, incredibly satisfying. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot more to say about Elden Ring. We're going to spoil the crap out of it in our last round hold table roundup, or whatever we call it. But the game ended satisfying. It was really cool. And then I went down a rabbit hole of watching lore videos on YouTube for a couple hours. Lore. And then I watched that speedrun playthrough. I watched somebody play that boss that gave me such trouble and do it with like a level 1 character. I watched that, which was the same guy who has a speedrun record, by the way. And just started just learning about the lore. And I think I mentioned this at least on our Elden Ring podcast, that I knew I wanted to learn more about the lore. And it's actually pretty cool. It's really deep. There's a lot of characters in this game where I don't remember there being tons of characters in other, From Software games. It seems like there was a lot of characters, lots of dialogue, and lots of secrets and things to find out about the world. And after watching that, I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. It didn't make me want to immediately jump back in to learn more, to play more. I do want to go in and finish off that last final boss I never beat, which I don't think will be too much of a problem just based on, where I'm at and how leveled up my character is. I ended at level 160-ish or so. I got maybe a couple levels after the final boss died. But yeah, Elden Ring's a hell of a game, man. It's I can't wait for Dale to play. I say that every single podcast that I've been playing this game, but Dale's gonna freaking love this game. It's the way that Dale plays Dark Souls games, where he levels up to level 90 and then he plays the game. This game rewards that because
That's only half the battle.
there is so much to do. You don't have to grind on the same guys. You can just go explore the world and level up. And the crazy part is like so much of the content is optional. Like even these major bosses I'm talking about, that major boss that gave me all those troubles, like you don't have to kill her to be able to beat the game. You just have to beat. There's like a handful of story bosses that matter. Yeah, there's like maybe 2, and then you go to the capital, and then you can finish the game after that, like pretty easily. Like I would imagine that if you just wanted to mainline it, you could probably finish the game in, I don't know, 30 hours. If you just wanted to mainline it and maybe use some level up tricks to kind of get some levels in and things like that, and kind of just go for the items that you're looking for. I bet you could finish it pretty quickly, just like a normal playthrough rather than not a speed run like those crazy people. Even that dude, like the world record for speed run with all the major bosses is like 2 hours or something like that. So anyway, yeah, it's awesome, Elden Ring. But next week, hey, look forward to something new. It's almost like I have this hole, and I've been trying to figure out what to play. Like I've been looking at Game Pass. And like, well, should I pick up Horizon Forbidden West? I'm like, I don't think I need a huge open world game again right now. I need something more tightly designed. Like, do I pick up Last of Us Part 2 finally? Like, I don't know what game to play next to fill my time. So I've kind of just been dabbling, and most of it's been on xCloud streaming, just to kind of fire things up quickly, and just checks things out. And like I kicked on Dicey Dungeons, which is on Game Pass, playing on my phone on over the streaming. I fired up Weird West, which just came out. I know that Jeremy's playing a new game on Xbox Game Pass that people are pretty excited about. I might give that a shot. Like I have no idea. Like Elden Ring dominated so much of my time over the last month and a half since it came out. Like that's all I've really played since then. That there's a hole in my heart, an Elden Ring size, and I really don't know what's going to fill it next. But we'll figure it out. And next week you'll have an update for me that's not Elden Ring. So there you go.
Looking forward to it.
You're welcome.
Very good.
So Jeremy, now you gotta lay it on us.
Well, here in terms of games where they don't necessarily tell you what to do, it's a little bit soulsy and new and fancy. Last week we reported, I think it was last week, on the Xbox ID at Xbox Indie doodad that they do, and they actually
that's what
announced,
it stands for, Indie doodad. Got it.
Indie doodad
at Xbox.
They released day one on Xbox Game Pass a little indie game called Tunic. Tunic is, I guess, in a nutshell, it is an isometric Legend of Zelda-like, where you play as a fox, but it's also a little bit Dark Soulsy. The aesthetic looks a little bit like, do you guys remember on the PlayStation 3, there was a game called 3D Dot Game Heroes?
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
it was all sort of like pixely, but it was like voxels, and also the look was almost like ray tracing had existed before. Like it looked like pixels had shine on them and stuff. Like it kind of looked like a little model, I guess, made of little blocky things. That's what Tunic kind of looks like. You play as a little fox dude who wears a tunic, kind of a Link Legend of Zelda green tunic, and you start out kind of with nothing, and they kind of don't tell you anything. Any signs that you come across are in some indecipherable language. You pick up little pages that are ostensibly like the manual that would have come out of an NES kind of game, because it looks like it's got little drawings on it with little button animations that kind of teaches you, you don't get them right away. You don't get the instructions right away. It doesn't really tell you anything, but you pick up these little items and then you can go to your inventory. You can actually view the manual, and you can even zoom in and see like all the different color dots on the printing and stuff. Like you can zoom it in and it looks literally like something that would have come out of an NES game in the 1980s. But a lot of that is also not in English. There are some English words in there as well, but that's how you learn how stuff works. So these pages that you find, they're sort of like collectible pickups, but they also are kind of important to learn how environmental stuff works in the game, to learn how dodges work, all of that. It has a very simple inventory system. You start out with, like I said, nothing. So for the first part of the game, you're just kind of like evading guys using this dodge roll. Eventually, you might find a stick or something else, and there's a sword you can eventually pick up. And it does do this sort of Zelda, almost Metroidy. Well, maybe not Metroidy, because that implies you come back to the same spot with a new ability. But
like compared to Zelda a lot.
I mean, it really is. And I want to think of how it sort of is distinct from other Zelda-like games, because this one is not just an homage. I mean, it's really it like synthesizes Zelda and Souls a little bit. And the other thing too is that there's all the dodge rolling and the attacks that you do. You kind of have to commit to them. The bad guys all have patterns and stuff. I mean, it's not just like a happy clappy. Even Breath of the Wild. The fighting in that was still pretty straightforward. With this, it's like you got to learn the patterns. You got to know what even the just the little weenie trash guys, how they move in order to not die. If you die, you kind of have to. You can go get your little rupees or whatever. They have these little blitz or something. These little coins that you pick up, and so you have to go get those, or you can lose them. Or tunic box. Yeah. Or you cannot. The game doesn't give you any real objectives. It doesn't give you any hints when you walk past something that's really important. Everything is 3D, like I said, sort of isometric top down. And so very frequently where you might see a ledge and there's no jumping in this game. So you might see like, oh, how am I going to get up there? And that becomes a place that you come back from later. But also there are places that you will walk directly by some little hidden pathway that was either kind of subtly behind something. It's never that you couldn't see it at all, but it's just like you never noticed it there because there was some overgrowth or there was a tree or a rock or something. You just didn't look at it as a pathway. So the game sort of bamboozles you a little bit in that regard.
Is the camera fixed?
The camera is fixed. Yep. You don't. It's really designed. The environment. So you don't do a lot of exploration. It's sort of made to be a certain thing, and it, like I said, it obscures the things it wants to obscure and so on. You do have a small inventory system. You can pick up things like bombs and firecrackers, or I guess they're dynamite. And the game lets you do that stuff like right from the get-go, right from the beginning. You can have firecrackers or TNT and just explode people. When you die, those things come back, but major items and accomplishments that you've made, they stay persistent, but you do a lot of like restarting from the last save point that you found. There are these little like fox lady shrines that you can activate, and it is on Game Pass, so no money cost other than your subscription. And I actually decided to go ahead and install it. I found that the game still had a little bit of like sluggishness, even when it was installed locally and running.
Commitment.
Yeah. But it didn't give me the performance boost that I really had expected. I expected it to be like 1-for-1 responsive controls. It's not like a hacky slashy game. It's not about how fast can you hit the attack button. It's more about being elegant with the way that you approach, even like I said, even the little small common enemies. And the boss battles. Yeah, it is. I mean, it really is a lot like that. The boss battles are plentiful. They are not really forgiving, but they're fair, tough but fair, I guess, is kind of how these games work. The music is really chill. The production value is fine. It's just kind of it just twists the Zelda formula just a little bit, and also kind of leans into this nostalgia part of it, like the little scenario, like the cave where you find like a guy by himself. There's no other characters in it though. Like the only.
Is it okay if the aesthetic just kind of turns me off a little bit? That's the only thing.
It did me too. Like I actually, when I first saw this, I was like, yeah, well, and it just like it kind of looks uninteresting to begin with.
It looks really uninteresting.
It looks really uninteresting, but I tell you what, after I played about
fox guy in this one,
he's like a little fox dude. Actually, there's a couple of fox games going on right now. What was the other one that I saw? Something else on Game Pass.
Fox Donut County a while back.
Donut County's Raccoons.
Yeah,
there was something else on here. It does.
Deals.
Yeah. I also was kind of turned off by the aesthetic at first. And there are games that I still have not gotten over. Like Hollow Knight is still one that I haven't been able to like get interested
I brute forced through the aesthetic because I didn't like it either.
Yeah. See, so that's like this. That's like this. I would say that in that same way, this is worth kind of dipping into if you can for just like 10 minutes. Just grit your teeth for 15 minutes and it's fine. The other Fox game that I was looking at was New Super Lucky's Tale, which
it does really have a very voxel look to it.
It does, and and it's kind of satisfying. Like you can cut when you eventually get a sword and you can cut the little bushes. They have a little bit of physics, and it's just kind of fun to go around, just like cutting bushes and stuff. But that's not the main appeal of the game. All of that other stuff that I mentioned, it comes together really well. I find myself getting kind of frustrated at the game because when I die frequently, I'm starting over at the same start point a lot. Like it does that thing like Shovel Knight, where it's like you live just long enough to get your dropped gold and then you die again right away. Like I'm doing a lot of that, which I don't really dig. And also I could see how some people could get frustrated at eventually you kind of clue into the idea of how the little hidden pathways and where your next step is. But I could see this being frustrated for people. In fact, I actually have watched somebody play this and be like, no, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So there is that element to it, but it's cute and I think it's worthwhile. And you don't have to pay anything to try it out if you're on Xbox Game Pass. So give that a shot, Tunic. And I don't know. Let me know what you think.
Tune in, tune out.
Well,
Tunic. Tune out.
Tune in, tune out.
I have been playing a game that is the exact opposite art style of Tunic. It is not cute and twee. It is dark and gritty.
Serious.
Yes.
Severe.
So I actually picked up King Arthur Knight's Tale, which is in early access, but releases this month. So what this is like a story-based XCOM-ish RPG thing. The biggest thing that is different, though, is there is no misses like in XCOM. So it's a tactical turn-based game, but when you swing, you hit. The dice roll determines
the amount of damage maybe. You played another game recently that was like that, where there was no missing. It was just you had to
you're right.
Like the fighty guys game, whatever it was.
I'll think of it later. But yeah. So and there's different mechanics in the combat. So you have special skills, there's bleeds, fire, armor, you have health, and then you have like hit points on top of that. So like you lose armor, and then you start losing your hit points and then your health. And when you get to that last category, it's a little bit like in a game, say like Battletech, where you start taking critical hits. So your character will become injured and you do less damage until you heal it, things like that. And it has this kind of strategy game overlay to it, but it's not like a world map that you move pieces around. It kind of missions pop up, and there's like side missions, there's like decisions you have to make. You have like a base, you upgrade Camelot, turns out. You recruit heroes, and it has this layer of like the decisions you make change your like
fate.
Alignment. Oh, yeah, kind of, right? Like your alignments. So there's the old faith in Christianity. There's like nice leader, bad leader kind of thing. And so as you make decisions, you move around on this, scatter plot basically, and basically unlock different like abilities, heroes that you can recruit, all kinds of things like that. And yeah, the game has a really gritty kind of art style and theme overall. Like the whole point
is it one of those like desperate, like, you're always stressed out?
So the story is that you are Sir Mordred, who is like tries to
my
kill
favorite
King
knight
Arthur.
of Camelot.
Right, the jerk. And the story is that he killed King Arthur but then died, but all of the like really like dark magic that was unleashed in the battle kind of screwed everything up. So you are in this like half world where people keep dying, but they're not dead, right? Like they keep coming back.
I have to say, I did not expect that was how this game was
Weird.
gonna.
Yeah. And so it has like a story mode, but it also has like a roguelite mode and multiplayer. So you kind of, I don't know, it's really interesting because it kind of leans really light on the like meta strategy part and is more focused on the kind of the tactics. Like, right. So you kind of jump into it. You do have to make some choices. Like you have to repair buildings. You can upgrade them. And some of the repairs, like one is an infirmary type thing where you can, the hospice. So if your hero's injured, like in the battle, like I was saying, you can send him there, but then he's not available while he heals and things like that.
Like a Darkest Dungeon kind of does that.
Yeah. Actually, the base building is very much like Darkest Dungeon, in fact. So yeah, that's a really good metaphor for that, or a comparison, I guess. But it's just really great. And they have, even though it's kind of like the gritty, dark style, I feel like they've done a pretty good job of making the like heroes feel kind of unique, even if their skills, like there's defenders and Vanguard and an archer lady. And so like I have two heroes that are the same type of character, but they have different traits that are, I think, random as far as I can tell, that kind of boost them in weird ways. And so you're like, oh, I'm going to make this guy like an area of effect kind of guy because he has a trait that supports that. So I picked up the skill and kind of give him gear that goes along with that style and everything. And then if you do end up losing them, that's it. They're gone. And so that's like a major blow if you get to that point. So I don't know. It's really interesting. I played it last night and actually just before the podcast, and I've been enjoying the heck out of it. So I'm really curious to get further into it. I'm also kind of interested in checking out the roguelite and the multiplayer. I don't normally get into the multiplayer.
Just got to find someone else to
games.
play it with.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it comes out later this month. So I'm hoping there's people in it. So I mean, if it comes,
it looks cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like at least the look of it looks really interesting. I just suck at strategy games. I just can't. I don't have the patience, and I just suck at them. It's just.
I mean, I've found myself making quite a few mistakes as I like kind of get used to the systems to where it's like, oh, I hit that person with the archer and then ran up. But
right after you do it, you all could have done something better.
So it's like wasted. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think you just kind of get more used to its style and how it works. One thing I actually really like is you kind of, when you go into a map, you kind of explore it like in real time, like with your mouse and keyboard, you're just like wandering around. And when you come up to, sometimes it's like you get ambushed and you just start fighting, but there's other scenarios where there's like, where the arena is for the fights, and you can you get rewarded for exploring a little more because you can find additional points where you can deploy your units. So you can actually take, say, your 5 heroes, put 2 on this side and 2 on the far side, and kind of come at them from different directions, as opposed to just like, oh, here you are, start on the south end of the board and go at it. So I kind of appreciate that. Just some different things that you can kind of figure out and I don't know, kind of play with as you go. So King Arthur Knight's Tale. I'll probably stream this at some
I would like to
point
see this
because
actually. I would like you
it's
to play
kind of
this.
hard to describe, but it's a lot of fun and it all kind of works. The music is real, like kind of like sinister and kind of really gets you in the mood. It also has, I don't know why things like this get me in games. When you like click menu things, it's got a really meaty,
Like a chunky click.
Yeah, that's so good.
I like Blizzard games for that because they always
Yeah,
feel just real
you're like,
good.
"Ooh,
That's all.
yeah." I did want to exit that menu. Anyway,
Nice.
so yeah, King Arthur Knight's Tale. It actually comes out later this month, the 26th, I think. So if
Real good.
I'll stream it, and if you're interested, check it
Yeah,
out. It's on Steam.
I would like to see it. Very good.
All right, Dale, lay it on us.
Well, yeah, no, just a real quick update this time around. I decided to check out the Fortnite's Zero Building mode, which is, in a nutshell, kind of what I've always wanted Fortnite to be anyway, is just get all this building crap out of my way. I'm not going to care about it. I'm not going to take the time to learn how to do it. I just don't want it to even be in the game when I'm playing, right? So yeah, it's fun. It's basically like, you might as well just be playing I don't know, PUBG or something. Although I also tend to play in the solos mode just because I don't want to cooperate with anybody or have to like, wait around for somebody else to join my squad or anything like that. So it's really like a pretty pure battle royale experience, right? When you're solo and you're not I should say you're constrained to the lay of the land as to like where you drop the weapons that you pick up. And Fortnite now has like tanks and stuff in it too. So it's it's a little
It's
bit
been, I bet it's been like 2 or 3 years since I played this game.
Oh yeah,
And I played it, and I tell you what, I was way ahead of my time. I played it without building a thing.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
never
I
have.
never really did building anyway. But here's the thing. Now the
Nobody can.
opposition is also not building anything.
Yeah.
Right. So like it becomes a game that's more dependent. House, and there was like somebody shooting at me from across the street on a top of a hill, and it was like, I don't know, it's just you know how these games are.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. It's I like it. I like the sort of purity. I like the fact that there's always, it's Fortnite. There's like always a million people playing, so it doesn't take very long at all to get a game. And my first game I played tonight, I actually just completely beefed it like right off the bat. I tried landing on like a lighthouse, and then I was like, "Oh, I gotta jump off the lighthouse. Oh wait, how do I
Into
open
the water.
how do I open the thing again?" And then I hit, fall damage and died.
Oh, no. That's me.
But then the second game I played was a lot more interesting. It's like one of those like you drop into a section where there's like 2 or 3 other people, and all I can find is this crappy pistol. Oh, what the hell am I gonna do? And you go from there. So I approve of this new mode, and I think I read that they're gonna make it permanent, which
Like permanent for everybody? Like they're doing away with building?
no, it's gonna be like a permanent
Like an
option.
An
option.
option that you can do. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's not
awesome.
gonna be like for a limited time. I'm pretty sure I read that. So I think this is my favorite mode to play in Fortnite.
Nice.
Cool.
You should try Apex Legends without the.
I've played Apex,
Legends.
but only when it first came out. So it was like, I mean, it was fun, but yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I just went and played something else after that.
I hear you.
I feel like they've been trying to get to a no building mode for a while.
All right. Well, got some new releases here. Not very many.
Well, there's not a whole lot releasing this week, so
no.
I mean, this Weird West game looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually fired it up on the on xCloud on my phone, and it I don't know. It seemed weird, is what it seemed to me.
Weird and West.
Well, it is.
It just wasn't. It wasn't. There was a lot of like text dialogue to read, and I couldn't read it very well on the phone. It was just like it was really small. Like obviously made for a bigger screen.
It's really awesome, and in the Steam description it says bespoke experience.
Bespoke, artisanally crafted Weird West. Whatever that means.
I'll play it on
playthrough.
I'm gonna play it on Xbox. It is on Game Pass.
You know what? So was Super Mario Brothers. I mean, what does that even mean?
Bespoke.
Changes every time you play.
Broke, woke, bespoke.
Bespoke.
You've seen those memes, right?
Yep.
Nice. I don't know. I'm all confused because sound isn't working.
I think we're good now, though. I think everything's working.
All right.
Also, Moss.
New release I want to talk about.
Moss Book 2. This was a super cool VR game. The first Moss game. Yeah, I actually played this on the Oculus Quest.
I have this installed
really
on my PlayStation, and I have not played it, but maybe
you should play it. It's really good.
The first one, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. I played most of it. I never finished. I played most of it, but yeah, another one of those coming out, which is cool.
Right on.
Also, in our leaked new Destiny Guns Allegedly.com segment here, we have a few that are coming out. First of all, we have Whisper Trip coming soon to a battlefield near you.
We're getting our YouTube takedown for leaking that one. Whisper Trip.
That's right. Sorry, Bungie, don't sue us. Also, Terrorbane coming out.
Yep, that's legit.
And a family favorite, Flugan.
It's like
it drops off the new raid boss, if I'm not mistaken.
It's like the miniature Gallarhorn.
Yeah, exactly.
Flugan was always my favorite ride at Six Flags.
The Flugan.
Well, now it can be your favorite Destiny gun, allegedly.
One where it's like a log, but then you're also going through the snow, and then there's like
for some
tropical
reason.
Something also.
And pirates.
Flugan pirates, yeah.
Yeah. Also, there's a PlayStation Spring Sale that's happening right now. You can buy a bunch of stuff on sale there. There's an Epic Games Spring Sale that's going on. If you're listening to this on YouTube, you have a few more days left. It ends this week, I believe, sometime. Also, they just added Mappy Land, Dig Dug 2, and Earthworm Jim from the SNES to the Switch Online. So if you still pay for that, which I do, I just never canceled it, never used it.
My renewal is at the end of this month, and I think I'll do it. I'll do it. Whatever, they got me.
It's $20, right?
Well, I've got the family one, so it's like 35.
Oh, what a
darn
racket.
families.
PlayStation Plus games for April. That's this month. Let's see. Hood Outlaws and Legends. This was a really cool game that I actually.
Was that you or was that Jared? It was you that was.
I played it.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
On
you have
Epic. Yeah.
Do you? Does this have cross-platform? We should all play it.
I don't know.
That'd be fun.
Neat, though.
Yeah. Slay the Spires coming as well as a SpongeBob game. And then I guess it's also mentioned in this article that we're reading on Game Informer that the Persona 5 is leaving the PlayStation Plus collection, which I don't think anyone thought that was even possible.
Yeah, once they got there, I thought that was it.
But no, Persona 5, get it while it's hot. You're not going to be able to finish it by the end of the month. That game's like 100.
I wonder if it, does
hours.
Does anybody know if does it just mean that you cannot attach it to your account anymore, or does it just become unplayable? Because normally you can add those to your account.
That's a good question.
A little vague about that.
Let's see. It says, PlayStation Plus subscribers will have until May 11th to add the JRPG to their library to ensure the game can be played after it leaves service for good.
Oh, good.
So,
good.
There you go.
As long as you have it added to your library.
Get it now.
You'll be able to play it. So
get it while it's hot.
Indeed. A bunch of free games on Amazon Prime, so go get them. Nothing of note. Sorry.
Turnip Boy commits tax evasion.
That's right.
No.
Also, the Halo TV series episode 1, if you want to check that out and not have to subscribe to
Paramount
Plus, is that what it's on?
Yeah.
Halo TV series episode 1 is for free up on YouTube. So I think I might give that a watch and see how it is.
Well,
why not?
Why not, indeed?
Yeah.
Why not continue with E3? Because it's canceled. It's canceled this year. In the news, one of the big items that happened, the Electronic Entertainment Expo, which is part of the Electronic Software Association, that's their big thing, not happening this year. I have heard that they are planning on doing it next year, but in the meantime, Jeff Keighley lives on, and he will be consolidating all of the exclusives, world exclusives, will be happening at the...
Yes, just rub his hands together.
He's that GIF where the guy comes up, so he is doing the Summer Game Fest in June, and they do a whole week full of all kinds of stuff. That has actually been kind of a cool event to be happening. And then, of course, we have the Keighleys. A lot of stuff happens at the Game Awards at the end of the year as well. I don't know. I am a little disappointed. I really like having games as a platform to have a communion of some kind, for at least a little bit of time during the year, like a week where everybody kind of gets excited about games and new stuff is announced and, a lot of trailers. I really enjoy that. I'm kind of bummed. Summer Game Fest does not really scratch the itch the same way. Kind of an adjacent
thing. The good
thing.
news is you can get that every week right here at the Game
Bytes Show podcast, youtube.com/GameBytes Show. The new authority. We replace E3. You heard it here first. Yeah. Also, here's another big, and I didn't know which one to put first. That was pretty big news. The other big news that happened this last week, right after we recorded last week, is that the long-rumored Spartacus, I don't know what they're calling it. I don't think they stuck with that name. The PlayStation Plus answer to Xbox Game Pass has basically now been validated and announced. They've got a multi-tiered system, sort of like Game Pass does. I guess I don't really... I just have the ultimate subscription that I got at the very beginning, and so for me, Game Pass is just like Game Pass. But there's a PlayStation Plus Essential, which is basically the same program that it is right now. Online stuff, 2 downloadable games monthly, cloud storage, online multiplayer access, etc. There are also an extra tier, which gives you a catalog of up to 400 of the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games. They are downloadable for play, which is interesting. It's not streaming. And then they also have the premium tier of the service, which allows a whole bunch of PS3 games via cloud streaming, 340 asterisk games via streaming. Cloud access also will include PlayStation 2, PlayStation Portable, PS4 games, wherever the PlayStation Now service is available.
PlayStation 1 games too, right? Is that on there?
It doesn't say it.
I thought it was PlayStation 1.
Oh, okay,
as well.
okay. So streaming and download options from the original PlayStation, PS2, etc., and then cloud streaming access for those same games, and then some additional things as well. Also, there will be time-limited game trials. Will be there for you as well. The highest price tier of this is $120 yearly, which I think is the current price of PlayStation Now.
You can't. PlayStation Now. Is it
PS
120?
Now. I believe it is. Yeah. Which I don't know if they're still offering the trial on that. I never actually activated my one-time trial. I probably lost my chance, but
nobody did.
Yeah. For me, this is cool in concept, but I'm sort of waiting for this at least gets their foot in the door of this whole Game Pass idea. They can expand on it later or improve on it. As it is right now, I don't know that I find it compelling enough to switch, partly because Sony has said that they are not going to be including their first-party games at launch the way Xbox does with theirs. Sony's, PlayStation Europe president Jim Ryan says that partly that is just due to quality concerns. Jim Ryan said that we feel like we are in a good virtuous cycle with studios where the investment delivers success, which enables yet more investment, which delivers yet more success. We like that cycle, and we think our gamers like that cycle. In terms of putting our own games onto the service, this is not a road we've gone down in the past. It's not a road that we're going down with this new service. He's talking about new stuff at launch. He says it is not to say that it couldn't happen in the future. He looks back 4 years at the stuff they're doing now and says that nobody would have really thought it to be the way it is. So like I said, this gives them an opportunity to expand upon it. I kind of think, honestly, if they were going to do like God of War Ragnarok on day one, like I'd be there. I think I would drop Game Pass for that. But
you know what I think gamers appreciate
what's that?
Is getting things like easy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
So,
Yeah,
Yep.
if you don't have to think about, and I've said this many times, if you don't have to think about spending the money, it's easy to play a game, right? Or at least check something out. The one thing that I do want to note here that I don't think a lot of people are really talking about is a lot of people are trying to compare this apples to apples with Xbox Game Pass. Xbox Game Pass doesn't have an annual tier. They don't have an annual subscription option. So Xbox Game Pass is $180 a year because it's $15 a month. You can't do it any other way. With this way, you can get access to PS4, PS5 games for $100 or $120. So it is substantially less. First of all, second of all, PlayStation Now has already been offering downloadable games. They've kind of already been in this game. It just hasn't been marketed very well.
Well, it's just that there were two adjacent services, and it's really hard to say I want this and that unless you really wanted to go out of your way for that.
Yeah, exactly. They weren't combined. The PlayStation Plus, and quite honestly, like Xbox Game Pass has 3 tiers as well. They have your Xbox Live Gold, which you can get just to play online, right? They've got your Xbox PC Game Pass or your whatever, and then your Game Pass Ultimate, so they have
that does everything.
They have a few tiers as well, and I think that this is interesting. First of all, because it'd be awesome to be able to play a lot of these games right when they come out, and like you mentioned, Jeremy. But I would imagine that God of War Ragnarok, a year after it comes out, will come to this service. And is that fine for players? Is it fine for me? Is it fine for you? Maybe. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's kind of how I'm operating right now. I have not picked up Horizon Forbidden West.
Neither have I.
So
I almost pulled the trigger on Returnal, but that is coming to this, and that was a PS5 game. God, when did the PS5 come out? 2020?
I already forget. I don't know.
I don't even remember.
It's not even out. You can't buy it.
Yeah, Returnal came out
last year.
It's just last year, right?
Yeah.
That's a Housemarque game, is it not?
Yeah,
it came out a year ago, and that game is coming to the service. So that is an indicator that this Returnal not first party, but PlayStation exclusive game is coming to the service. That is one announcement they did make. So that gives me hope that for $100 a year, like they already have a pretty decent library on there. And if anything, what Game Pass has taught me is that like I can just fire something up just because I want to see something. I don't have to think about spending $15 or investing. If I buy this game, I need to invest time so it's worth my money, right?
Think about how it was before, right? Like you had to go to GameStop or something, and you had to like decide from their wall of games, like which one are you going to spend a bunch of money on?
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I was a kid, and my mom took me to buy a video game because I did really good at school in like 3rd grade. I had an NES, and I went to go pick out an NES game, and I had, I just couldn't decide which game I wanted, and my mom.
It was a commitment.
Exactly, it was because I'm like, this is the only game I'm going to get for who knows how long, right?
You always get blessed.
And my mom ended up
Blast
talking me
Master's
into going and renting a game instead. We ended up going and renting a game. It was a racket, but you know what I mean? Like if you can just play all the games, like this is 100% worth it for me, at least to check out for a year. I'm in for $120 for the first year of this, just to at least see what's going on. At the very least, I'm playing Returnal, and like I said, I was looking through the PS Now catalog right now, which by the way, you can download all the PS4 games on PS Now. You can just download and play on a PS4 or PS5. You don't have to stream them. Like that's a thing that, again, the marketing that Sony has put into PS Now has been garbage, right? Like,
yeah,
it really is a comparative service aside from not bundling in the PlayStation Plus subscription with it. I mean, that's the only thing. But once they combine that and start marketing it properly, it's a very comparative service, especially for the price that you're paying it compared to the price you're paying for Game Pass. So it's interesting to me. I'm excited to check it out. I'm excited to play Returnal when it comes out. I'm not going to buy it anymore. I'm going to wait for this service, and then I'm in for at least a year for sure. $120. I'll do it.
Real good. Well, very good. Also out in the news this last week, I think that actually, I didn't put anything else down there, but that is not all the news that we've got for this week because we still have our news speed run. Start that music.
Oh man, I forgot my thing.
Jared.
There
we go.
Wait, here, hold on.
Oh wait, that should be after the news speed run. Hold on.
Yeah, that's right. That's the closing.
All right, who's starting? I'm not starting, so I'm not reading this first.
New Monkey Island game from Ron Gilbert announced for 2022 sequel to Monkey Island 2. So I have this thing with all the Monkey Island games where the titles are all so I have no idea what order they go in or anything. You could have told me this game came out like 12 years ago and I would have been like, sure, whatever.
Yeah, I kind of have that too. Because the first one is like Escape from Monkey Island, and then it's like Return to Monkey Island, Curse of Monkey Island. The fourth one is
Monkey Island. We have to go back.
Son of Monkey Island.
Yeah.
Revenge. Yeah. This is pretty interesting just because it is a sequel to Monkey Island 2 specifically, and there have already been other games in the series since then. So I don't know what they're going to do with that, but that is intriguing. Games from China and Taiwan are going to get their moment in the sun. They're going to be highlighted on Steam for a week-long feature later this month. I believe it's called the Enter the Dragon event. And I think this is kind of interesting just because most of the time we just see kind of the weird, like, pay, gotcha style stuff. So I'll be interested to see like actually what is happening behind the bamboo curtain over there in China.
Finally, some press for Sands of Salzar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like like some Call of Duty clone, and it's made in like Shanghai.
That's pretty. It's DDoSed again.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Speaking of a Call of Duty clone, classic Doom gets ray tracing on Nvidia graphics cards.
Nice.
Cool.
And that, I got to say, the Minecraft thing with ray tracing actually looked really cool. So
it does. It's awesome. I tried it. And Quake 2 ray tracing is really cool too.
Yeah, looks good.
Game Pass is rumored to get a family plan soon, and the rumor is that you'll be able to subscribe, and up to 5 devices or 5 people can use it.
I'm not super clear on this. I feel like my children are already able to play Game Pass stuff on my, because we've got one console that we share. So
well, I have 3 PCs in my house that can play games, but I only have one Game Pass account.
Oh,
so if I wanted them to be able to play Game Pass games, I would be paying an extra $15.
Well, the other thing, though, like I've noticed this is that because we were doing this with Forza Horizon, like I can play the PC, I can stream xbox.com/play Forza Horizon while someone is playing it on the console, and we can actually play together, which is weird.
Really? How does that
work?
work?
Currently. I don't know. Try it. Like you can actually do it now. So I don't know. Anyway.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you hear what I said? Go home and get a family plan.
Go home and get a family plan. That's really good.
Thanks, Ken.
Guile. That's Guile.
It's Ken, not Ken.
Pretty sure it's Guile.
All right, you guys are just gonna have to fight it out. Senators call for an SEC investigation into the Microsoft Activision Blizzard acquisition.
We'll see. I found out it's only 4 senators, so I'm not sure if that's like a big call to action or not. But, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Bipartisan, at least?
Bernie Sanders is involved. Probably not.
Okay.
Sonic the Hedgehog is getting a breakfast cereal with General Mills. It's going to have Sonic the Hedgehog. I know. You know what? It has been a long time since we've had a game-themed breakfast cereal.
It better be rings.
They're Sonic the Hedgehog, like his face outline.
What?
Like the Sonic logo.
No, you're making that up.
Crap. Get him out of here.
You know what? It's just video game breakfast cereal crossovers have not really.
It's just rebranded Cheerios.
Yeah, ever since that Silent Hill one that they did, the Silent Hill 2 breakfast cereal.
And it's plain Cheerios.
Little marshmallow pyramid heads.
That sounds adorable, actually.
Well, there's also
adorable,
Sonic the Hedgehog movie canon, and it fires Sonic the Hedgehog movies. No, it's a canon, like a biblical canon, but it will not necessarily follow the game's biblical canon. So
no.
It sounds like we're going to have a reformation of some sort here with the Sonic.
Well, the idea is that like whenever when the 3rd movie comes out, they'll be like, oh, it's got to be Knuckles on Angel Island or whatever. They're just saying that they're going to just do whatever they want to with the story, and
I think they should
wait for Knuckles on Angel Island.
I never knew there was a story involved with any Sonic game.
Well, there's stuff like there's Chaos Emeralds and Dr. Robotnik.
And Obama.
And Obama. You mean the Chaos Emeralds? Obama chuckled.
Let's see here. Breath of the Wild sequel has been delayed until next year. Sorry, guys, I guess.
Womp womp. Epic Games is being sued again over Fortnite dances.
Construction workers are suing Fortnite over the build idea. They claim that they own that idea. They came up with it themselves. That's the real reason it's been taken out. Pending
actually, the union's pissed that the building jobs are gone from Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's really
and
expensive.
finally, Grammy Awards happened this last week, and video games are on the board now as 8-Bit Big Band wins a Grammy for a Kirby Meta Knight style remix. A travesty that it was not for their far superior Lonely Rolling Star that they did from Katamari Damacy. But 8-Bit Big Band, I'm a big fan. I listen to them quite a lot, and they really do a good job.
That does sound like one of your favorites, probably.
I love 8-Bit Big Band. In fact, guess what's playing in the outro right now as we wrap up this episode of the Game Bytes Show podcast?
And the Brian Setzer Orchestra.
The Squirrel Nut Zippers are back, everybody.
Yeah.
Folks, that's going to do it for this episode of your Game Bytes Show podcast. I want to thank you for making it to the end with us. Thank you to my co-hosts for doing this again, keeping everybody informed, entertained, and edified with video game news and impressions across the pantheon of video games. If you have any comments or thoughts on something that we discussed that you want to weigh in on, if you've played something and want to share, if there's some news that we overlooked and you want to let us know all about that, find us on social media. We are collectively at Game Bytes Show on Twitter. You can also reach out to us individually. I am at Jeremy_Lamont.
You can find me at Legrand.
I am at Count Elmdor.
I'm at red_I.
Find us, of course, at youtube.com/GameByteShow, where you can see us live, as we do this on Monday nights, as they are. You can also find us over at GameByteShow.com. You'll find there a back catalog of all of our syndicated podcasts, a link to our Discord server. It's an open invite. Come join us anytime. We have all kinds of good stuff going on over there. You can compare Elden Ring notes, maybe even get on a little spin-off podcast. The Roundtable is, so open for a final. It's round, and there's many seats. So come join us there, and who knows, make friends, rub shoulders, and maybe become a friend of the show. I don't know. We need some friends. We do. We're lonely.
Sure.
Please. And folks, we will be back next week to do this all again, to make sure that you get all of your infusion of the E3 that's not going to be, but we bring to you every week here at the Game Bytes Show podcast. Until then, this has been your show. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Yeah. The Max Weinberg 7.
Wow.